Ooh, the drums here though. Yujin! Hey everyone, I'm Garrison and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm super excited because Kep1er has debuted today, and obviously I'll be checking out their MV for Wa-Da-Da. Now, I've seen the teaser pics here and there, have been hyped off of them, and then also chatting with my friends about Kep1er's debut and such, and of course obviously pre-ordered all versions of their physical album and such, but I haven't seen the MV teasers as well as the highlight medley for their debut mini album because, you know, I want to keep things as a surprise, and most importantly don't want anything misleading to happen throughout my ears before I get into the first listen of the song and watch of the MV. But yeah, going through all those episodes of Girls Planet 999, all the highest of highs and lowest of lows, into, you know, Kep1er view and like the covers that we got and the V-Lives, finally the time has come. So with that being said, let's just get into it, shall we? Alright, Wa-Da-Da by Kep1er. I got the English captions on and all, let's go. Oh, starting with Chaehyun here and her pink hair that I absolutely love. Oh my! Okay, Diane! What a loud start to this. With the whole bass going on. Ooh, the drums here though. Yujin! Okay, here we go. Building up here. Oh. Oh. Man, they are just so stunning throughout these scenes. But this is totally something that I did not expect for the very least, but I'm digging it so far. Akaru? What? Oh my. That's why. There's just something so mesmerizing about this song. And I feel like that has to be the genre they utilized. And I think the delivery of their vocals too in this. Yuri, very fierce with it in terms of the mood, but light at the same time. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, that percussion work there. Oh, this is like magic to my ears. I think the best way is to put it here. Wow. There is a lot to take in, I've got to admit, okay? I mean, for those of y'all who, assumingly you saw this MV before this and listened to the song before this, I'm pretty sure you had a lot to take in, from, at least for me, song-wise to concept-wise to, of course, how everything was put together and the members, certain members' parts in this song and the shining moments that happen for certain members. Yet, beyond all everything that is so fierce and yet light with it and obviously loud with it and delivered in that automatopoeia way in the chorus with Wada Da, obviously, somehow everything is cohesive. I mean, sure, this concept for this release, this debut, is like not out of this world, not game changing per se. But I've yet to hear a debut or any title track, the matter of fact, deal with a range of genres that are worked in a way that is obviously so loud with it, yet so light and gentle with it, you know I'm trying to say? I feel like there is a nice balance between, the adorable side to Kep1er and all the members, yet their very intense side where they could just like work, where they end up showing that and working like crazy, and the choreo with it, which is obviously done, and the editing was so done with this, them like teleporting all over the screen, and I was like, okay, who am I couldn't even like focus my eyes. I had it's like, okay, this is Yoga, this is Yeso, this is, all of them had such nice moments in this, and that's one thing I could admit. Now, upon first listen, can I say this is out of this world and the best thing I've ever heard? Not necessarily. I mean, I've said this, if you guys have been following the channel, I've said this numerous times on my channel. There are rare cases where automatopoeia type songs hit me upon first listen per se, as I, for one, do favor more heavily sung choruses, and at times do favor slightly more intricate melodies, and in this case of what genre they mess with most heavily, the main genre being here is pretty much house, and house there's so many subgenres in house. There's electro house and all and such like that. If I recall correctly, it's like something room house. I can't recall correctly. I mean, Martin Garrix, all those renowned names are still doing it so well today, really put out songs like that. But with Wadada here, like I said, I like how it strikes a balance between this fierce side to Kep1er that's being shown, and obviously that is titled, it works with their album name called First Impact, obviously, right? It's so in our faces, so loud with it, but yet at times so gentle and light with it when it comes to delivery and the performance side of this song in the choreo, and also in the vocal department as well. And essentially what everything makes up of this subgenre they're doing, like, I think it's like big house, something like that, big house, big room house, something like that. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'll figure it out after this and probably put in the pinned comment and mention it. This subgenre is pretty much deals with electro house, and the main thing with it is it's supposed to put you in a trance, in sort of like a seesaw kind of manner, and that's what I felt like happened here, but more so in a way between the moods of like ferociousness and as well as ambition that's clearly being shown with the first Impact title of it, their debut mini album, of course, and everything. So that's what I'm saying, why I feel like everything works all together, even though on the surface level it seems all over the place and chaotic for some. Now, I can totally see this not going up in people's alleys in terms of taste. You're either gonna like this or not like this, but I, for one, as someone who is always open when it comes to genres not being used often in terms of title tracks in this case, or things that I don't totally mess with, but there are moments that I dig. I would say upon first listen, this is like an 8.5 out of 10 for me. But with more listens, I think it's gonna grow on me actually. And there are times where I feel like, yeah, with more listens, it's gonna grow on me, because due to certain sections, such as from the likes of Diane, the likes of Chan, our main vocal, if I recall correctly, of this group, Yejin, our lovely leader, of course. I mean, wow, she really worked her parts, and it is so, is it just me? Or I feel like it is so great to see Yejin on the screen again, or at least on an MV again. You know, it's been quite some a time, and I'm sure we're gonna continue to see a lot more in the new year from Kep1er and Yejin and all the members. But yeah, let's just dive back into this. I gotta re-listen to some parts to analyze this song a little bit more, and there are parts that got me, ooh, like, I gotta listen to this more again, and some parts where, like, ooh, I totally digged and noticed certain elements and instruments added in Wadada here. So, with that being said, let us bring it back up here. Let me bring it back to the start here. I think this was very smart, starting with the scene with Chaeyeon, of course. I'm like sure this starting like thing with the choreo, we've seen it done time and time again, but the way it kicks off with Shin shouting, everyone, oh my goodness, I was like, okay. Shin shouting is everyone be quiet, okay? I just couldn't take my eyes off of her throughout this entire MV. I love how she kicks it off in the center right here, and like this effect that's done with her hands. See what I'm saying? It's like putting us in a trance, and that's why I describe it later. I think the best way to describe this is like magic to my ears. Not like gold and riches to my ears, but more so magic to my ears. It's like, what is this witchcraft, you know? Literally sending us in a trance, and that's why I felt like so mesmerized, even though everything is so loud and like upbeat with it, you know? Now, I can admit, I don't totally dig all these scenes, like these industrial warehouse scenes. Probably one of my favorite moments in this song is right here, pretty much. Heads up! I love... Let me pause on a proper frame here. When she comes in here, I'm like, you sing it, Chaeyeon. Oh my goodness, as some of you may know, Chaeyeon has been through a lot, and seeing her finally debut, it just means so much to me, and I'm sure it means so much to you guys as well. Finally seeing this moment here, I was like, oh, her vocals every time throughout the pre-debut covers that I've heard from her and those side clips and stuff, and you know, that wonderful cover from Youngin, and of course Diane, and during the Christmas holiday season, I always just seem to get captivated by her voice so much every single time. And then And then, of course, they hit us with Yujin. I'm like, oh my goodness, get your part, Yujin. I'm like, yes. So proud of her. And of course, it goes in the young end. It builds up with these drums. And obviously, the instrumental is the driving factor of the song, the basses. Now, this is what I really like about the song is oh. See, it really goes to show you upon first listen, second listen, that part like is so satisfying. Is it just me, or just hearing that is so satisfying after the wadada, which I really couldn't predict in any means or any way of how they would deliver wadada. That's always the question in my mind when it comes to these title of the songs, where I'm like, okay, what is this supposed to mean? It doesn't necessarily need to mean anything per se. I mean, go back on songs such as Gratata, Do Do Do, you know, coming from Blackpink and such at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, these words are done in different amount of syllables, different amount of lines, you know what I'm saying, and delivered in a different way, and I sort of dig it low-key, but the whoa is one of the huge parts that I really like in this song. What da da da. Now, clearly right here, this is obviously my favorite scene, this very space-like scene here with the world or the moon or something here, and the lights here as well. And then, yeah, I think this has to be my favorite scene. Let me know your guys' favorite scene for this MV for Wadada, of course. And then here comes one of my other favorite parts in this. I believe this is verse 2 right here with Hikaru. Look at her. Look at her eyes. How she turns around off with this office share is like 1, 2. And I'm sure when Kep1er grows as a group, you know, during this debut era and beyond into the comebacks, we will see more lines by the likes of Shin Xiaoting, you know, Mashiro, Hikaru, you know what I'm saying? And when that day comes, oh my goodness, I am not sure if I'm ready for that. When that day comes, when they provide more lines and, you know, when they're more confident and more fluent in delivering their lines. You know, at the end of the day, like, sure, one may argue it's like, okay, fairness about distribution, but in my opinion, as always, that I emphasize on this channel, it's the matter of how impactful your lines are, more so than the amount of lines you get. You could have a lot of lines, but they can at the same time, they could possibly not be impactful. And I thought Hikaru's lines here were super impactful for sure, and it doesn't let up the energy in the song at all by any means. And I like how her lines right here just doesn't do that. It's just, whoa, it's like, it keeps my attention, right? And I like how the bass is not too loud here. Yes, yes, oh. And I think the addition of these drums, Bahi, the addition of drums really get me going too. But yeah, I feel like now on the second listen, I'm sort of digging it more, guys. Yujin in the center. It's a very playground-esque scene, yet in an industrial area. some sampling of like digitalized or electro sounds here, but what I also noticed that for sure they use horns in this, like these very loud, not by any means warm kind of horns. I wouldn't necessarily say trumpets, but various brass sounds that are quite loud with it to make it more impactful. And, you know, like I mentioned, I emphasize a lot, first impact. Wadada, how they've come with this is they've made a splash, for sure, obviously. The chimes. So right here, what happens, the chimes transition, they're all the way in the back. We get into, of course, Diane here. And the vroom 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 like supersonic, that is so memorable upon, I would say, second listen. Yeah, for sure. I love how memorable and quite catchy that is. I just feel like all the parts surrounding Wadada are so satisfying and somehow are more in my mind than Wadada, you know. I'm like, sure, I get the Wadada, Wadada, like I get the amount of syllables stuck in my mind, but everything else is really sticking in my mind more so. And that's a good thing that this entire song, throughout all the sections and parts, have its memorable parts and moments in it, you know what I'm saying? That is just so adorable and cute, guys. And just the way this sort of like squish like hand gesture that they do in the choreo. And Chaeyeon in the sander as she should. I can't believe this moment just happened. If anything we've learned throughout all these groups that debuted coming from survival shows, they've come through with very impactful debuts, and there are throughout all of them. I feel like people are gonna love it or people are not gonna totally mess with it, and I feel like this will hit a lot for a lot, but of course for some, I think if they take more listens and like obviously like I did, then it will grow on them for sure. And it makes me curious, how are the B-sides gonna go? Because at the end of the day, we all know B-sides hit differently to show different sides to certain artists, certain boy groups, girl groups, and soloists as well. But I don't know whether they mess with retro genres like disco, which I would absolutely be down for to see how it would play out. I'm sure it would end up being good. I doubt they're gonna mess with some sort of other house genre or sub genre of house in the B-sides and stuff. Maybe come through with another ballad or a hyper ballad I would go crazy for. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, guys. I liked a bit of the percussion instruments here and there, like the chimes and how the drums were done in this, and most importantly, the vocal delivery. Honestly, this could have been really bad if they kept the moments where in the chorus where they go wada da, you know, wada da wada. If they kept it loud like that throughout the song, I probably wouldn't have liked this song. But due to the light moments, the adorable parts, and I think, and due to how they showed quite a bit of duality throughout this, due to how this song went and played out, I dig this song. Now, with that being said, I think that grows from like an 8.5 into a 9. Yes, a 9. And yeah, by no means, my opinions, my thoughts, don't let me sway anything of your liking and such. But I am just so glad that this time has finally come due to the delays that we have known of and such, and we've been patiently waiting, and after all that uphill downhill with the show and such. But yeah, stay tuned for my first listen / full-on review to Kep1er's Wadada. I mean, the B-sides that are on the same album with Wadada for their first mini album, First Impact. Sorry, like I said, it's 3 a.m. and I literally stayed up for this, and I am so glad that I did it. This was 110% worth my time, and as some of you may know, I rarely do this, so I could provide my utmost 110% analysis. But hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, be sure to like, share, maybe subscribe, as it helps out the channel so much. It just warms my heart connecting with y'all about Kep1er, and I'm gonna wait for that fandom name so I can say fellow blah blah blahs, as always, that I say throughout my other reaction and review videos. And yeah, I'll try to pump out that review and first listen to the album as soon as possible. Do that unboxing, of course, to their physical album as soon as possible. Take care as always. Have a great day, have a good night, have a good afternoon wherever you are, and peace.